Welcome back. An Italian prosecutor has ordered the rescue vessel Open Arms be seized and has evacuated migrants on board. The migrants, at least 100 of them, had been stranded on the ship for weeks amidst a standoff with the Italian government. Simon Pusey has more on the migrant situation and other international news in Around the World in 5.
Good evening from the Channel's newsroom here in London. Italy is in the middle of a political crisis tonight as Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte has said he will offer his resignation. It followed a blistering attack on coalition partner Matteo Salvini. Mr. Conte said he had been irresponsible in creating a new political crisis for Italy for personal and party interests. Mr. Salvini, the leader of the Nationalist League Party, had tabled a no-confidence motion against Mr. Conte, saying he could no longer work with his coalition partner's five-star. Matteo Salvini called for a snap election earlier this month, saying differences between the parties had led to deadlock.
After the end of the parliamentary debate, I will go to the President of the Republic to officially inform him of the interruption of this government experience and to offer him my resignation as Prime Minister.
Syrian opposition forces have withdrawn from the strategic town of Khan Sheikhoun, deep in the last rebel-held province. Government forces backed by Russia have closed in on the town in recent weeks, 5 years after rebels took over. An official statement from the main jihadist group in Idlib province, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, described it as a redeployment of forces. The US has tested a medium-range cruise missile weeks after pulling out of a key treaty with Russia that banned such nuclear-capable weapons. The Pentagon said it successfully launched the missile off the coast of California on Sunday. Moscow accused the US of escalating military tensions. The US withdrew from the Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty on the 2nd of August after accusing Russia of violating it, a claim Moscow denies. Analysts fear the collapse of the INF could spark a new arms race. Jeffrey Epstein signed a will 2 days before killing himself in his New York jail cell, that's according to US media. Court papers filed last week in the US Virgin Islands valued Epstein's estate at more than $577 million, but listed no details of beneficiaries. The will, details of which were first reported by the New York Post, directs Epstein's assets to be put into trust. Epstein died while awaiting trial on sex trafficking and conspiracy charges. The New York medical examiner found that the 66-year-old, whose body was discovered on the 10th of August, died of suicide by hanging. Hong Kong police have declined to give details on reports that a staff member at the British consulate in Hong Kong had been detained in mainland China. Media reports say Simon Chung, who is thought to have been from Hong Kong, is believed to have gone missing on the 8th of August while on a business trip. Hong Kong police say while they did have a missing persons report for the man, they have not had any information from mainland China police about him. The British Embassy in Beijing released a statement on Tuesday saying that it is extremely concerned about the reports that Chung had been detained. Military police say they have neutralized a man who held dozens of passengers hostage for more than 3 hours on a commuter bus in the Brazilian city of Rio de Janeiro. Early morning commuter traffic came to a grinding halt when the hijackers stopped the bus on the bridge with around 37 passengers on board at 5:30 a.m. local time. 6 hostages were released in the first few hours, and they told police the man had poured petrol on the bus and threatened to set it on fire. The hostage taker did make a few appearances, here throwing an unidentified lit object in the direction of officers. In a tweet, police said all hostages had been freed after a sniper shot the man. He still hasn't been formally identified. More than 10 migrants on a charity rescue ship stranded off southern Italy jumped overboard and tried to swim ashore as the Spanish charity operating the vessel remained in a standoff with the Italian government. The ship Open Arms, at sea for 19 days with almost 100 migrants on board, has been waiting just off the port of Lampedusa, asking to bring the mostly African migrants ashore, despite an Italian ban on private rescue ships docking. Video footage showed more than 10 people in the water having jumped from the boat. They were picked up by the Italian lifeguard and treated before returning to the boat. And finally, what would you do if you saw hundreds of inflatable mattresses flying through the air towards you? Well, eyewitness Rob Maines decided to film the bizarre spectacle, describing the incident as the Great Mattress Migration of 2019. Maines told local media he was at the public pool when the wind kicked in and the mattresses started to roll across the lawn. According to local reports, the mattresses had been set out for an event called the Bed Cinema later that day. And that's your international news around the world in 5.
Thanks, Simon. Time for sports news. Here's Olumide Bakoli.
Thank you, Amarachi. Hello and welcome to Sports News. Nigeria's men's basketball team, the Tigers, are expected to leave for China tonight ahead of the 2019 FIBA World Cup. The Tigers will be taking part in a 4-team invitational tournament which starts on Thursday, August the 22nd in China. They will play Iran, Montenegro and Poland as part of their preparations for the World Cup. The coach, Alex Mora, will then release his final 12-man roster after the 4-nation invitational tournament. The 2015 African champions are in Group B alongside Argentina, South Korea and Russia in the World Cup, which begins on Saturday, August the 31st. The Confederation of African Football has ordered the Nigerian champions Enyimba to play their Champions League preliminary round behind closed doors over stadium concerns. Enyimba looking to come back from a 1-0 away loss to Burkina Faso's team on Sunday, August 25th, at their home arena in Abia State. But African football governing body says the stadium, which reopened last year after major renovation, still lacks adequate floodlights, CCTV cameras and an electronic scoreboard. CAF is due to launch another inspection of the stadium following the match. Barcelona have confirmed that France forward Ousmane Dembele will be sidelined for about 5 weeks with a hamstring injury suffered in their defeat at Athletic Bilbao in the La Liga opener. Dembele's injury layoff is another blow for the Barcelona coach after Uruguay forward Luis Suarez limped off in the first half of the loss to Athletic Bilbao. Despite scoring 14 goals and providing 8 assists last season, Dembele's latest fitness troubles has led to uncertainty over his future at the club. In tennis, the American Sloane Stephens has parted ways with her coach, Sven Gronveld. Less than a week before the U.S. Open gets underway, Stephens, who only teamed up with the Dutchman in May, has not announced a replacement. He's worked with Grand Slam champions, including Monica Seles, Maria Sharapova, and Anna Ivanovic. That's it on Sports News. The News at 10 continues now.
And the main news again. The police today announced the rearrest of the alleged kidnap kingpin Hamisu Bala, alias Wadume, in Kano after he went into hiding following his alleged rescue by soldiers in Taraba State 2 weeks ago. Police authorities are, however, standing by their words to get to the root of the matter by unearthing why the suspect was freed by his rescuers, adding that Wadume's statement vindicated the early report on the incident. Also today, youths in the Ekpe area of Lagos foiled an attempt by operatives of the EFCC to search the residence of a former governor of the state, Akiwumi Ambode. The DSS said in a statement that it had secured a warrant to search Mr. Ambode's houses in Ikoyi and Ekpe, but the former governor said he is not ruffled by the action, saying there's no cause for alarm. And Italy today ordered the seizure of migrant ship Open Arms and the evacuation of about 100 migrants on board to the island of Lampedusa. That is the news at 10 tonight. Thanks for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. Good night.